It's that time of year, aka Padders. Are you ready for our second annual film event? First film event, you guys know, the 31 Days of Dread. Oh, so many of you found the 31 Days of Dread for the first time this year. In November, to celebrate Thanksgiving, we do Thanksflicking. The films I'm thankful for. Some of them are long-winded, some of them are not. Some of them are just simply, this film inspires me. Simply, this film is great to look at. Today, whenever you're listening to this, I just want to go over some of the films that are slated to get released for Thanksflicking. Now, I'm not going to release all of these episodes. I just want to go over what I'm thinking of and why, and hopefully get you a little bit excited for what's to come. So let's get into it. Thanksflicking 2024.
Quiet on the set!
Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Action!
Confession. My original vision for this year's Thanksflicking was viewer submission only. I wanted to reach out to my AKAPADers, to my fellow film buffers, and let you guys guide me through this year's Thanksflicking. Some of you out there communicate with me. We DM. We're online friends. And I gave a couple test feelers. Didn't get a really good response. I asked people what films they were thankful for, and a lot of my test subjects didn't quite get it. So, we're doing it. I'm doing it. That idea is scratched. Now, anyone that listens to this, if you do feel that's of merit, maybe we can do something similar come around January. But for now, these are the films I'm thankful for, and this is the proposed slate for 2024. Robert Zemeckis, Jodie Foster, Matthew McConaughey, Gary Busey's son, Jake Busey, Contact, Carl Sagan. This movie is just, I'm connected with this movie through my sister and with my sister. We saw it in the theater when it dropped. And ever since then, like, her and I, we just love this movie. Whenever I watch this movie, I think of her. Heat, Michael Mann. I remember seeing this movie with my buddy Rob. And we were kind of, doing one or two movies a weekend, but also going to the local mall, trying to meet girls. And, I don't know, just relatively being a menace all around South Jersey. But we were, like, young film buffers. I recently just watched Heat, and it's so perfect. It's such a perfect movie. I love everything in that movie. Every time I watch it, I pick up something new. I also want to say I appreciate that the opening is very much like The Warriors with the subway train. Good stuff. Drive. Drive is a movie I attribute to pulling me back into cinema, appreciating film, and maybe being aggressive about doing something with film, which would be this podcast. Drive is a huge inspiration for me. I've dressed up as Ryan Gosling in Drive for a couple of Halloweens. It's always a big hit. I guess like now it's a little passé. People don't really recognize what the reference is anymore. Tom Hanks, Big. Penny Marshall. Big is just one of those movies, no matter when I watch it, it's like a Peter Pan syndrome. I really do become a kid again. I like watching that movie because it does fill me with wonder. It's a good reminder to have that attribute. Tucker, A Man in His Dream, Francis Ford Coppola, Jeff Bridges, Christian Slater. I may have done this previously, but it's on this list because I was just recently watching it, and I put this movie on often, along with Martin Scorsese's Aviator. I just love movies where something's getting built and guys are kind of against the grain and have their backs up against the wall. Bradley Cooper, Burnt. This movie just opens my eyes every time I see it. I see it a different way every time I watch it, because sometimes I'm on his side, sometimes I'm not. but I love the discipline of the kitchen. I love what he uncovers just as of what that practice is. Very inspirational, and I do love the movie, and it's somewhat of a weird romance. I'm on board. Quiz Show, the Van Buren saga with Ray Fiennes, Robert Redford. Absolutely artful. Movie's just inspiring. Just from a production sense and what the Van Buren family was during that time. Inspirational to the point that we have to strive to build legacies for ourselves and our families, and it's tragic. And to me, Quiz Show is a tragic movie. That's my boy Adam Sandler. I'd like to have one or two comedies, because comedies just pull us together, and I have so many inside references from That's My Boy, from people who I've shown it to. A lot of inside jokes, a lot of lines I still get repeated to this day. That's My Boy, in my view, is Adam Sandler's absolute best movie by a mile. Infinity War, yeah, I just gotta do it. I put this movie on so much. I love the plot threads. I love how it makes the argument that it's not a movie, but yet if you're plugged into the MCU, it's the perfect movie. The movie just moves, and there's no movie in Hollywood history that moves like Infinity War moves. Batman Forever, another movie I just always put on. I love the opening. I love Chase Meridian. I love Nicole Kidman. I love the credits. I love the music. I love the set design. I love the colors. I love Jim Carrey. I love the design of the Batmobile. I love the introduction of Chris Evans or Chris O'Donnell. I just enjoy the movie. And again, I know I'm not supposed to say that. I'm supposed to say that's a horrible movie and smear it, but we're not doing that. Akira. Anime, obvious choice for anyone interested in illustration or design or even architecture. Akira is infinitely fascinating and inspiring. Full stop. Also, anime Fist of the North Star. I still talk about this movie. I reference it. I introduce people to it. Recently, during a dinner party, I brought this up because someone asked me what my favorite cartoon was, and I said Fist of the North Star, and therein, 45 minutes later, I finished the lecture to why it's so important. We might do that this year for 31 for Thanksflicking 2024. Maybe we'll do an hour-long discussion on Fist of the North Star. And so, and my last one, sorry, I'm looking at a piece of paper. Documentary-wise, September issue. Vogue's, it's a documentation of Vogue's creation of their September issue. Eye-opening, 24/7 workers, true hustle culture is this documentary to produce an item that does control the flow of fashion worldwide. Nothing quite does it. The Vogue September issue is just immensely significant all the way through. This documentary just makes you love it. You guys know if you follow me on YouTube, and please do, by the way, I cross a lot over into the world of fashion. I believe fashion is the true creativity, not film, not comic books, not cartoons. The pace of the fashion industry and how often they are truly creative. Nothing compares. All right, AKAPADers, that's Thanksflicking. Be ready. We're going to be dropping episodes real soon. I love you. Rock and roll. Subscribe, support, leave a comment.
Okay, that's a wrap.